What is up, bros? Ziggy Pro X here. Yes, it's me. I'm back. I'm alive. I'm here. I promise. And I know I haven't been doing commentaries, and it's great to be back here, sitting in my room like I do every day. Anyways, it's great to be recording a commentary in my room. How about that? Yeah, I like that better. It's touching, really. It's been a couple months, and I haven't done it in a while, but the main reason I am here is to talk to you guys about these recent scandals that have been going on throughout the United States. One of them being the Penn State child abuse. Everyone knows Jerry Sandusky. I believe that's how you pronounce his name. The Oscar Ramiro Ortega Hernandez, and the White House shooting. And then finally, some weird things have been going on with ECU and hostages. I'll get to more into that later in the video. But also, this is like pretty much every commentary I claim it to be, it's a special commentary, because if I might, you know what, I'm not going to say it's special, I'm going to say it might be special, because if the video is more than 11 minutes, then it's a special commentary. If it's not, then it's a regular one. Because I have I'm going to have two games going during this commentary, because I really want to get in depth with what's going on, and I need to get you guys concerned. Okay, that just kind of didn't sound right, but I want to make sure that you guys understand how big of an issue this is. So this might be going a little long. It could possibly end up going about 19-20 minutes. I don't know, but we'll see. So, I'm just going to go ahead and start off. I'm going to give you a little background information about what's going on in, at Penn State. So basically, there's a guy named Jerry Sandusky, one of the defensive coordinator for Penn State, the old one, was involved with some child abuse, and it started back in 1977. Jerry Sandusky, he founded the Second Mile, which was a charity to help troubled youths, and then nothing really happened later from then to 1994 through 1997. Sandusky allegedly engages in inappropriate contact with 3 different boys he met separately through the Second Mile program. And one was about 7 or 8, one was 10, and one was about 12 or 13 at this current time. And according to the grand jury report, the now adult men said Sandusky engaged in inappropriate contact ranging from touching to outright sexual encounters, including several incidents during the nights before Penn State football home games, when the team staff and boys Sandusky had eligibly invited were staying at a hotel. And by the way, I will have all of these links to these 3 different information things. That was the worst wording I ever could have put that. I don't know what. Slapsack. Don't do that again. For all of these websites that I'm getting this information from, I'll put a link in the description so you guys can read more. Even though I might probably get a lot in depth with the Penn State, you might not need to read it. But you'll definitely need to read some more about that White House and the East Carolina University scandals. Alright, well then, later in 1998, Penn State Police and the Pennsylvania Department of Public Welfare investigated an incident in which the mother of an 11-year-old boy reported that Sandusky had showered with her son and may have inappropriate contact with him. In a June 1st, 1998 interview with investigators from both agencies, Sandusky admits showering naked with the boy. And I mean, that's just wrong. Showering with a boy. Okay, look, you're what, 70, 65, maybe a little younger, maybe 50, maybe at the time he was about 40, but still, a little boy who's about 11 years old. That's just nasty. How do you find any fun in that? I mean, it's let alone a boy, but then 11-year-old boy. I mean, it's already gay because you're with a guy, and then now you're with a little child. I think he should just be shot for that. Okay, that was a little overboard, but he should definitely be in custody. Well, admitting that it was wrong and promising not to do it again, according to the grand jury report. This is what Sandusky's quoted. Then the district attorney advises investigators that no charges will be filed, and the university police chief instructs that the case be closed, according to the testimony included in the grand jury report from the police detective who investigated the incident. Are you serious? So he's already been caught, and they just let it go. God, that's ridiculous. Let's read on, shall we? Later in 1999, Sandusky retires from Penn State after coaching there for 32 years, but stays on as a volunteer and retains full access to the campus and football facilities. Oh, I see what he did there. He already had enough money, so now he just wanted a place for to have sex with little boys in the locker room, I see. Well, later in 2000, Sandusky allegedly showers with a young boy and tries to touch his genitals during overnight stays at the coach's house. That's just wrong. According to the now 24-year-old man's testimony included in the grand jury report. God, this guy has problems. He's such a pedophile. Tim Calhoun, also in 2000, a janitor at the Lash football building on the Penn State campus, tells his supervisor and another janitor that he saw Sandusky performing oral sex on a young boy. That's giving him a blowjob. That's, oh my god, fucking gay. Jesus. According to the grand jury report, a second janitor reports that he saw Sandusky and a boy leave a shower room and walk out of the building hand in hand. Dude, that's just wrong. Wrong. Alright, and no one reports that alleged incidents to university officials or law enforcement, according to the grand jury report. Then in 2002, on March 2nd, a graduate assistant tells Coach Joe Paterno, I don't know if you guys know who that is, but that was the head football coach for the Penn State Nittany Lions. Very good coach, I must agree. And told Paterno that they saw Sandusky in the locker room shower the night before, performing anal sex on a young boy who estimated to be around 10 years old. God, really? This guy is like a psychopath. He's just like he's like, oh look, a little boy, let's have sex. I mean, think about it. If you guys have a little brother about 10 years old and you're at least 15, just imagine having sex with that kid. Just imagine how awful that would be just to have sex with the kid and have him. Oh, that's just wrong on so many levels. Anyways, so let's see here. Alright, later, the next day in March 3rd, 2002, Paterno reports the incident to athletic director Tim Curley, saying the graduate assistant had seen Sandusky fondling or doing something of a sexual nature to a young boy. According to the grand jury, Later, the assistant is summoned to a meeting with Curley and Senior Vice President for Finance and Business Gary Schultz. While the assistant later insisted to the grand jury that he told Curley and Schultz that he saw Sandusky and the boy engaged in anal sex. Curley and Schultz told the grand jury they had not been told of such an allegation. Maybe Sandusky had something to do with that. Instead, Curley said he had the impression the conduct amounted to the non-sexual horsing around. Bullshit. Schultz said he couldn't remember details, but seems to recall that Sandusky might have inappropriately grabbed the young boy's genitals while wrestling. According to the grand jury, Sandusky's locker room keys are confiscated. He is told not to bring his second-mile participants to campus, and the incident is reported to the charity, but no law enforcement investigation is launched, according to the grand jury. God, this guy still hasn't been caught. This is just wrong. He still has not been caught. Anyways, the second mile learns to the alleged shower incident. Curley tells the charity that the information that had been internally reviewed and that there are no findings of wrongdoing, the group said in a statement Monday. Sandusky, this was later in 2002. This is from 2005, around 2005 or 2006. Sandusky allegedly befriends another second-mile participant whose allegations would form the foundation of the multi-year grand jury investigation. Then in 2006, 2007, around there, a wrestling coach at the high school where Sandusky is volunteering allegedly surprises Sandusky and a boy lying on their sides in physical contact face-to-face on a mat in a cramped weight room. Sandusky jumps to his feet and tells the coach the two were working on wrestling moves. The coach later recalls in grand jury testimony. As time goes on, Sandusky allegedly begins to spend more time with the boy, taking him to sporting events and giving him gifts, including golf clubs, a computer, cash, and clothes. During this period, according to the grand jury report, Sandusky allegedly performs oral sex on the boy more than 20 times, and the boy performs oral sex on him once. Man, that man loves to suck some dick. God, what a fucking pedophile. Just imagine him raping you. Just imagine how that boy felt. Unless he liked it, then the boy should be slapped. In 2008, later, the boy breaks off contact with Sandusky. Later, his mother calls the high school to report her son had been sexually assaulted, and the principal bars Sandusky from campus and reports the incident to police. In grand jury testimony, the principal, Stephen Turcheda, whatever, recalls Sandusky's behavior as suspicious and says Sandusky is often clingy and needy. When a student no longer wanted to spend time with him, the ensuing investigation reveals 118 calls from Sandusky's home and cell phone numbers to the boy's home. Then later in November 2008, November, Sandusky informs the Second Mile that he is under investigation, and he removes himself from all program activities involving children. And 2 years later, in 2010, in September, Sandusky retires from the Second Mile. November 4th, 2011, the grand jury report is released. This was just a couple weeks ago. And then the next day, authorities arrest Sandusky on seven counts of involuntary devate. I don't know. I'm sorry if I can't pronounce that word. DEVIATE. You guys can figure that out. I'll put that as annotation. Sexual intercourse and numerous other charges, including aggravated incident assault, corruption of minors, and endangering the welfare of a child. He is freed on $100,000 unsecured bail. Curley, 57, and Schultz, 62, are each charged with 1 count of felony perjury and 1 count of failure to report abuse allegations. The next day, on November 6, Curley asks for and is granted administrative leave to deal with the charges, while Schultz steps down from his post to retire. The next day, Penn State students rally outside Paterno's home. 2 days later, Paterno issues a statement saying that he will retire at the end of the 2011 football season. He was getting too old anyways, adding, "I wish I had done more." The U.S. Department of Education says it will launch an investigation into whether Penn State failed to comply with an act requiring colleges and universities to disclose the number of reported criminal incidents on campus each year. University trustees announced that night that Paterno and University President Graham Spanier have been removed, effective immediately. Angry students rioting at State College, Pennsylvania. I mean, Joe Paterno, he told somebody. I mean, it's not his fault. I mean, he did his best. He's like 85 years old. God, it's not Paterno's fault. November 10th, Sandusky's attorney, Joseph Amendola, tells CNN his client disputes the grand jury report and is destroyed over what happened to Paterno. I agree. Penn State says Mike McQuarrie, the graduate assistant who saw the alleged 2002 incident involving Sandusky and a young boy, will not be on Saturday's football game because of multiple threats. Then on November 11th, this is 6 days ago, when I'm making this commentary, Penn State officials say that they will create a special panel to investigate the allegations. The university announces McQuarrie had been placed on infinite leave. Students hold a candlelight vigil to honor the alleged victims. Authorities in San Antonio say that they are investigating the possibility that Sandusky might have committed sex crimes there in 1999, where Penn State played in the Alamo Bowl. CNN affiliates report Victim 4 in the Pennsylvania grand jury report. Victim 4 in the Pennsylvania grand jury report had been listed as a member of Sandusky's family party for the bowl game. 5 days ago, on November 12th, fans hold a moment of silence before the Penn State football team plays Nebraska. The Nittany Lions would go on to lose 17-13 against the Cornhuskers. November 13th, Pennsylvania needs to change its law in the wake of the scandal over alleged child sexual abuse by a then member of Penn State's football coaching team. Governor Tom Corbett says on NBC's Meet the Press. Then 3 days ago, on November 14th, questions arise regarding Judge Leslie Duchat, who released Sandusky on $100,000 bail. The judge's former law firm listed her as a volunteer for the Second Mile. The Second Mile CEO, Jack Rakovitz, resigns. Same day, in an interview with NBC's Bob Costa, Sandusky maintains he is innocent and denies he is a pedophile, but he is. Sandusky admits he has horsed around and done some of the things in the grand jury report, but says the only thing he did wrong was having showered with kids. And Mendola calls Sandusky a big, overgrown kid. Ain't that a fact? The Morning Call newspaper of Allentown, Pennsylvania, reports that McQuarrie wrote in an email to a former classmate that he helped stop the 2002 assault and talked with police about it. "I did stop it, not physically, but made sure it was stopped when I left that locker room," McQuarrie wrote. Well, that's pretty much all about the Penn State. I feel bad for those kids, and we're actually kind of halfway done with the second video. But, so, I'm going to go ahead and just talk a little bit about White House and the ACU hostages. So basically what's happened at the White House, a man by the name of Oscar Ramiro Ortega Hernandez they estimated him to be about 800 yards away with a rifle, semi-automatic rifle, and he supposedly shot at the White House from the. Oh wait, I was hitting a ping pong paddle and a ball. Supposedly 800 yards. He shot the White House a couple times. Luckily, Obama was away, and he was at the UNC Michigan State game on the battleship. And then a couple days later, after the Secret Service released some photos of Ortega Hernandez, a man in Indiana, Pennsylvania, working at a Hampton Inn, recognized him as he was making stay. Ortega was then later arrested. I believe it was today or yesterday. He was then yesterday. The bullets that hit the White House, one hit the window, a couple hit outside. It was a good thing that the White House though had a bulletproof glass, because that could have been a real threat. Who knows? The vice president could have been taking a nap in the Oval Office, and you just never know, you know. But nobody was injured, and also I forgot to mention they found a car. That the reason why they knew it was him, Ortega Hernandez, was because they found a car abandoned with a rifle. It was a couple blocks down. It had a rifle in it, and they tracked the car to be owned by Ortega Hernandez. That's pretty much it for the White House. But for East Carolina, I find this really confusing. So there really isn't much here, but from what I've heard from resources is that so basically there were a couple students held hostage at ECU. It was apparently going to. Everyone thought it was going to be the next, I don't know, Virginia Tech incident, which I disagree. It wasn't. It couldn't have been that bad. Actually, can we just leave a moment of silence for Virginia Tech? Alright, thank you. That actually wasn't supposed to be. I wasn't being funny. I was actually being serious. But for ECU, there's apparently a couple students held hostage, and there was reports going everywhere. And that apparently, from what I have heard, is that they recently discovered that the man who was holding him hostage didn't even have a gun. It was an umbrella. I found that part funny, but the rest of the story I didn't find quite that funny. But you have to admit it's kind of stupid how you think that's good, how you confuse it. But yeah, that's pretty much it for all the stuff I want to tell you guys. And be looking out soon. I might be putting up a walkthrough of the Spec Ops. Probably not, though, because we weren't that good at it, and you can probably find it somewhere else. But otherwise, yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. See you some other time. Make sure to check out 2WGAC as well for cool basketball montage. I'll put the link in the description to that, and also put the link in the description. I talk really fast. I'll put the link in the description of these 3 websites that I've gotten some information from about the 3 scandals. So, peace out, everyone.